Welcome to Beyond the Reps podcast. I am Adrian of Busybody Fit.
And I'm Kay from 2XL KL Fitness.
This podcast is going to be a podcast highlighting the highs, lows, ups, and downs of being a woman of color in fitness. Now, our lifestyle translates across the board when it comes to fitness. Fitness is life for me. I can definitely say that. What about you, Kay?
Yes, honestly, for me, it started off as a weight loss journey, and now it just has become a lifestyle that I just can't look back. This is just what it is moving forward. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. So because fitness is a lifestyle, we never want to take away from the experience. Fitness is not just being in the gym or being like, doing reps in the gym. That's why the name of the podcast is Beyond the Reps, because it goes beyond that. It goes beyond just going to the gym, doing your cardio, lifting your weights, hitting your PRs. So we hope to be able to reach out to the world in the way that we experience fitness as women of color in fitness, and I'm just looking forward to it. So what we really want to do is just introduce ourselves and let y'all know exactly who we are and what fitness means to us. So do you want to start, Keishla?
Sure. So where do I start? So for me growing up, I was always in sports. I did, I don't know, man, I did so much. I played soccer. I did boxing, softball. Listen, name it all. I was just an athlete. And it also started from my family. My father is a professional boxing coach. So growing up, being in the gym, working out, or running any sports, just what we needed to do, So it started there, and then I went to college. I was like, you know what, I just want to work, and I put it to a pause. And then I realized how much I missed it, how much I loved it, and how much I can't let everything else going on in the world or just in my life stop my lifestyle. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get back on. Started working with my dad, and then I had my daughter, who she's 12 now. She's a swimmer and whatnot. Yes, Janaya. And when I had my daughter, I was like, you know what? Growing up, I was like, my dad was always there, the athlete, making sure that we are doing what we need to do when it's working out, going to practice. And I just realized, you know what? I want my daughter to watch me and see, okay, mom could go to work. Mom has her business. Mom is doing all this, but the lifestyle is still there, and I wanted to highlight that for her. So I started my journey at Next Level, for my own personal journey. And I just always had my daughter right next to me. Everywhere I went, she was always there. And to this day, now we work out together. And I think that's pretty dope. So for me, I have to say my biggest thing about the lifestyle is not only do I want this lifestyle for myself, but I just have a little mini that's watching that as she grow up, I want her to install this into her so she can understand how important it is. It's not just a sport. This is a live going thing that you just should keep, mentally, physically, just all over overall.
Right. And I really love that about you, because it's like I love seeing like you with your daughter. It's so cute, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a great relationship with Kay. So I think that's wonderful. And I think that is a huge part of. Look at me getting emotional. It's so crazy.
Oh, don't you start?
Okay.
Too early.
Right. When I met Kay, it's so interesting. When I met her, I actually met her through coaching. I'm a coach at Next Level Boot Camp here in Buffalo, and it's like she was were you a client at the time?
Yeah, I was a client.
She was a client in my class, and it was like something about her energy. I said, I like this girl. She's kind of cool. And then I found out she had her own business, and I'm like, okay, so maybe that's why I'm getting the energy. I'm like, she had her own fitness business, and I'm like, all right. Okay, so you do what I do, kind of, different, but the same. So, and as a woman of color, like she's, you're Puerto Rican and I'm black, and it's like we both come from the inner city, essentially, and at least in the city of Buffalo. I mean, granted, you come from a whole nother country. I mean, not country, but I thought that was like so dope. So I think that's really what gravitated me towards Kay. So that's just, I wanted to give you your flowers because you're super inspired by you. Me, myself, my journey started, it was just the craziest thing that happened. I was a freshman in college, and I had lost like 30 pounds out of nowhere. Clothes wasn't fitting me. Looked crazy, looked real crazy. And I just felt like I wanted to gain this weight back, but how do I do it in most what is it, the most healthiest way? So what I did was I started researching. Like, I was always active growing up. I've always played outside. I played sports in high school. I ran track, played soccer. What else I do in high school? Soccer, track, basketball. Yeah, because soccer actually did it.
Which
my
was a point guard?
Yeah, girl.
Shorty? Oh, ball.
You already know that. So yeah, I was always been active, but I never took fitness like serious. Like, as far as like nutrition and like, I never did any weightlifting. I mean, like, I used to lift weights with my brothers and stuff when I was a kid, but it was like just for some fun stuff, not just like I'm taking it seriously. 'Cause my brothers played football and stuff, so like my father, like, you know, obviously they put a lot of focus on that. Like, for me, it was just like I was in high school and I was just playing sports to stay active. So I was always active, but I was never like serious about it. So when I lost the weight, I don't know if it was stress. It probably was stress because college was okay. That was a rough time,
yeah.
but I lost the weight and I went to the doctors, and the doctor was like, "This flies in the face of the freshman 15. Like, I don't understand how you, like, we can't, doctors can't tell me what's going on." I'm like, all right, whatever. I was going to figure it out. So I started doing research. I started following this girl on Instagram. Her name is Massey Arias, I think it is. Don't you heard that rolling the tongue? Yeah.
See,
yeah,
you've been around me long enough to roll it.
And she was kind of on a similar journey as me. Like, she was like in like a real depressive state, like I was, and she was trying to like get her life back on track. And I was like, okay, what is she doing? So she was eating clean. She was lifting weights. I said, okay, I know how to lift weights. Started going to the gym, and then that just became my life. So now it got to the point where fitness was not a thing where I couldn't function without it. I would spend, and then back then it was like I was in college, so all I had to do was go to school for the most part. I really wasn't working or anything. So I was in the gym for like 2-3 hours. And I just wouldn't leave. Didn't want to leave. I was like, damn, do I gotta go home? Like, so really fitness is like my safe space. And honestly, that's really what keeps me grounded. And whenever now, if I miss a week or I miss a couple of days or something's off, I always feel it in my spirit. It's like something is off. Like, I don't feel like myself. And it's like, oh, it's because I haven't been to the gym in a couple of days. Because life be lifing. Life be life.
Listen,
so,
I literally was having this conversation.
Especially now. So
nah.
as you get older, more responsibilities come, it's like that. But
adulting.
Yeah. So my love for fitness translated into me wanting to help more people that look like me change their lifestyle, because I've seen a lot of people from high school that I went to high school with, and they did not look the same because they weren't taking care of themselves. And it was like, I was encouraging everybody around me, my friends, my family, to just eat better, work out, lift weights, be active, and make it a lifestyle. And one of the first things that I said is to people is like, people would come to me and they would say like, oh, I want to look like you. And I'm like, I don't want you to look like me. You want to look like yourself, but don't chase the look, chase the lifestyle. That's like one of my mantras. And but I really, really, really was like focused on like the Black community, because growing up, access was not like, we didn't have access to stuff like that. Only reason I knew anything about lifting weights is because my father ran track in high school and he did like that type of stuff. My mother wasn't an active person, so it was like, if it wasn't for him, I probably would be just like the people who I'm trying to help now, you know what I mean? So like, I think there's a huge disparity in the Black community when it comes to things like that. So that was really like my, after I found the love for it, I'm like, if I could do it, I can help other people do it too, because I know that people who are not from areas like I'm from, they have access to those things, and their choice to, they don't even, it's almost kind of like, it's like second nature to them. They get up and they go run, and they can walk to the grocery store and get fresh produce. And we live in like areas where there's food deserts. It's just like, you know, we got liquor store, McDonald's, Burger King,
The corner store,
sandwich. Wendy's. Like, that's you know.
For me, it was a big culture shocker when I moved from, so I grew up in the West Side, and when I moved to Tonawanda, that was, for me, how old was I? It was my freshman year in high school, so I was 14 years old. So yes, I was born in Puerto Rico, but I was only like I wasn't even 1 year old when we moved to Buffalo.
Right.
So you know how segregated it is. So Puerto Rican and go to the west side because that's where you belong. So that's where I was. But when I went out to Tonawanda, that was my first time ever seeing. I literally like my mouth just dropped because I remember getting up in the morning walking to the bus. And at that point, I'm like, oh boy, now I got to catch the metro. I don't even know what's happening. And I'm like, I was the only colored girl. And they all look at me all crazy, but I'm like, okay, whatever. That was just weird, number one. But then I remember clearly to this day, looking to the left, and it was a dad and a son running. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like, people go running? Like, people do this? And I just remember to my dad, like, I remember going to my dad, like, you always push me to go to the gym and stuff. Like, why we don't do, like, stuff like that? So that just goes to say, just to back up what you're saying, just kind of like the culture. Yeah. It's different.
Yeah, it is. It's very different. And I feel like coming from, like, I grew up on the east side of Buffalo. So I didn't see, I'm be honest, I never saw any, the most, like, activity that I saw is, like, us being outside playing in the street. That's it. So it's like, you know, we playing street football, whatever, you know, things that kids do. But at the same time, it's like I never saw parents outside playing. You know, I've never seen, obviously, I never seen anybody running around the block, like, unless they was running from somebody.
Right.
So,
exactly.
And and granted, it's a part of our culture, and it's nothing. And I feel like I would never separate myself from my culture, but I think there are things that would help us to thrive with it. We just focus on our health and wellness. So, and honestly, like for me, like with my journey, it's mental for me. It's mental health for me. It was mental health to start. Like I had like I was depressed. And I said, I have to pick myself up out of this. And the only way I was able to do it was to go to the gym. Like the gym is literally my therapy. And as Black people and as people of color, because I know we've had conversations about this, we don't even think about going to therapy.
Oh, but that's the last thing.
But imagine if we focused on like working on our bodies, on our inner selves, like it would really relieve so much of the unnecessary stresses that we deal with on a regular basis. And then everything else that's deeper than that, then we can start talking to people. But if you're working on yourself, that it really translates across the board. And that's the biggest thing. And that's why this name of this podcast is Beyond the Reps. It's because it goes beyond you going to the gym and pushing up whatever, you know. And my biggest thing, and that's always going to be, and to the day I stop breathing, is going to be encouraging the people that look like me to continue to take care of themselves and not taking the easy way out, because there is no quick way to get there. Like, it's a lifestyle. You have to do this for the rest of your life. You can, and no shade to the people out there getting surgery, but you have to live a life that is healthy, that a lifestyle that is healthy is going to promote longevity. Like that's the biggest thing. A lot of people want to look like something or whatever, and then you get to your point, and then what do?
Right.
So, and like for me, and another thing I was actually thinking about, like, is like we all have different goals. Like me, myself, like my goal has always been to gain weight. Your goal?
It was losing and toning. So it's two completely different things, but we're still in the same journey.
Exactly.
Just it looks different for everyone.
Exactly.
And just to piggyback from something you said earlier, for me too, like I won't forget when I started my journey on my weight loss journey, because growing up I was always that's what we talked about last time too. How I was just an athlete, so I had practice after school. I was in a bunch of clubs, so if I wasn't in practice after school, I had to go to club practice. And then when I went to college, and then life started lifing, and I had to work, and I had to go to school, and I had to do everything. I had to stop the sports, and I lost myself, because at that point, guess what? Kay was no longer active, and I was like, wait a second. Well, I ain't about to be no pro in no sport. So what am I gonna not work out and be active for? Like, I'm done? Yeah. So that's when, for me, I was like, I woke up like, oh, this means you're going to have to go to the gym now, honey, and figure it out, you know? And coming from a family that has high blood pressure, obesity, big bodies, big bones, I was like, yeah, no, we're going to have to figure this out. And I remember starting my journey, but then I remember about 3 years in, got unfortunately ran into a medical where I had to leave and not be able to do nothing for like 3 months. Ooh. And that is when I realized that it wasn't just the physical.
Yeah.
I was looking great. I said, "Oh yeah, it's late. I'm on here, like, whatever." And then I realized when I wasn't going to the gym, I literally mentally had a mental breakdown all the time. And then I started understanding, like, you know what? Wow. Like, I didn't understand. Like, I was just always chasing the look and not chasing how I feel, not chasing my mental. I didn't even realize that how much it was helping my mental because I was just focusing on the look.
Right.
And now it's just like, yeah, no, now I tell people all the time, like, I go to therapy with my lady every, 2-3 times a month. And it's just so much easier. It just goes so smooth because it's like I got the physical gym part of it that helps with the mental, but then it's just I got the follow up with the therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it took for me to have to do a medical leave and not being able to work out to understand or even realize like how clear my mind was when I go to the gym and when I leave out of there. Yeah, I have days I don't want to go. Especially your classes sometimes, like, she about to really be doing too much today. But then I leave like, hey, yeah.
You always walk in feeling better than you did when you came in. So that's what I always tell people. Just, you got the hardest part is showing up, but you got to show up.
Yep.
So, yeah, I feel like, but to piggyback off of what you said as far as, like, what made you realize that it was, like, a mental thing, like, I know, like, where my journey started, and anytime that I feel different, like, it's because I haven't done something the right way, whether it be it my diet or I missed a workout a week, because life be life, and, like, my job is my biggest hater. I'm my biggest hater. However, I always make time. It's like you have to prioritize the things that are important, and once you get that in your head, and once fitness becomes a priority, you'll never lose it. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is literally understanding, like, finding your relationship with fitness and why you have that relationship. What's your purpose? You have to have a purpose in fitness. 100%. And if it is just to look good, then hold on to that. Yeah. Hold on to that and keep working. But, like, I feel like at the end of the day, like you said, if something happens to you medically where you can't move your body for 3 months, what's your diet look like?
Good question, but no,
because my thing is, like, I just came off of a shoulder injury and I couldn't do much. There's only so many leg days you can have for you can't walk no more. Right. But it's like, for me, it's like, okay, my diet got it. Now I know, like, yeah, maybe if I'm moving more, I can have a little cheat meal here and there. Now I got to keep it clean. Yeah. Because, like, I don't want to be looking crazy or feeling crazy, because it's not even just about the way you look. When you eat bad, you feel bad.
Yeah, no,
like
100%. It's a big difference.
Know that.
We know. You'll be all sluggish, you tired.
And it's like, and I feel like the older you get, the worse it gets. Like from my 20s to my 30s, certain things I just can't do no more. Yeah. And that's something that you learn as you go through, like, this lifestyle. And I think that the more that we can continue to reach other people in that way, the better it'll be. So that's always been my goal. And it's also, like, I feel like if people that look like me see me doing something, they'll want to do it too.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing for me. I feel like I had to learn as I was going, because, like I said, for me, which is a athlete thing more than just a fitness thing. And now just learning that the journey, your goal's gonna change,
Oh,
and it was just like, remember when I first started, I'm like, I want to be, I was like 265 pounds. I remember I was like, I want to be 190.
I've heard that number before.
Literally got to like 200. I said, no way, 190. There's no way I want to get there, And then it's just like, okay, like, so one of the biggest thing I want to like express to people and let them know like your goals are going to change. As your journey goes, you're going to go for maybe I want to gain, or maybe I want to lose, or I want to tone here, I want to do that. But it's never going to stop. So you can't just be focusing. There's no ending to the fitness.
Right.
And I didn't realize until I hit the goal that I thought I wanted. I hit it. And then I wanted more. I said, well, what do we want to change now? Like, me, I want to work on my arms a little bit more. Or, you know,
Right.
I want to work on this mile. Let's get this under 10 minutes. Like, so that's another thing, that don't set your mind like, I want to, get off the scale. Just stop.
Oh, please don't watch the scale.
Like, that's number one.
Please don't
like,
watch. Well, I'll be watching the scale because I'm trying to gain weight. But, you know, I was like, hypocrite. But.
When it comes to losing, to gain, it makes sense. But when you try to lose, no, get off the scale. But, yeah, no. One thing I feel like I want to make it clear to people, have goals, but your goals are always going to change. So you can, because once you get there, then you're going to be like, okay, now what? So just work through the fitness and don't make it what is the word I'm looking for? Don't make it a homework. Like, just make it like a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, have fun with it.
I like that. Don't make it homework.
Don't make it homework.
Hobby.
Because guess what? You're going to not want to go. Because, I got to go work out.
Yeah, like it's a chore.
It's a chore. Like, no. Like, make it fun. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
No, switch it up.
Switch it up.
It can't be the same all the time.
Now, what I will say, though, the same movements is going to get you where you want to be. But working out is boring, can be boring, I should say. But like you said, you have to switch it up. If you get to the point where you feel like, especially if fitness is not your thing, you have to figure out what works for you. Like, I am more of a weightlifter, you know, Stairmaster mommy type girl. I used to, when I was younger, I used to be doing all types of stuff. Jumping off of stuff, doing all types of crazy stuff. But these knees and these, don't do that no more. I'm probably going to try to get back. However, but you do like step classes and boxing and stuff like that. And it's like, I'll pop up to one of your classes and be like, okay, I want to move my body today, but I consider that to be an active rest day for me. Because it's like, it's not too crazy, because it's obviously it's a beginner type class, whatever. But I put my bands on the steps, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta make it work for you. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too light for me. I'm gonna get a little more stuff to it. But I feel like once you get to that point where it's like, you know what you're doing, you know what you're there for, you're gonna make it work for you regardless. So I can go to a class that's like we went to Ebony Fit, and wait till we do an episode on that. But when we went there, it's like, you know, the classes that they had, it was like, I was like, I don't know, I'll try this, I'll try that. But at the end of it, I'm looking at my Apple Watch like, hold up, that's a lot of little calories I burn right there. So it's like, you just have to always make fitness fun. I feel like that's the biggest thing. And I feel like a lot of people who, especially people of color, because that's really like the people who come to me the most, they have issue like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is boring. Well, what do you like to do? That's what I tell my clients. I ask them, I say, what do you like to do? People who ask me or tell me that they want to get in shape, what do you like to do? Do you like to walk? Do you like being outside? Like being indoors? Do you like to walk? Do you like to run? Do you like jumping? Do you like playing sport? Like what did you like to do before you got to this point? We got to find what you like to do to find that starting point, and then we can get you to where you need to be. But I feel like the biggest thing is to get them, you just got to get them there. You have to get there. You have to start. So with this podcast, we hope to be able to obviously share our experiences as women of color in this space, but also how it translates into other parts of our lives. Different things that we experience as entrepreneurs, women of color in the fitness space. It is not an easy thing to do because it's very few of us. Like, it's like, I think fitness is now becoming a little bit more popular, especially because of social media. But also, it's like, I still run into people who say, it's not a lot of black women who are fit. And I'm like, what? But my algorithm shows me a bunch of fit black women. I don't know if it's because of the people that I follow, But it's like, I think in real life, a lot of people still tell me that, and I'm like, I don't understand how that's how that is. So, I mean, I don't know. Is that your experience?
I feel like I do hear that a lot, and I think it's just in Buffalo, when it first finished started, it wasn't really too many people out here doing it, especially of color. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Even now, though, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I think I've met most of them.
Yeah.
And that's not good because I don't know that many people.
Right. So I just feel like it's just time to get it out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also feel like sometimes people are just scared. You know, I get a lot, especially because I do fitness classes. Well, I don't like to be around people. You got to start somewhere. So I think that's one of the biggest thing that I feel like sometime, or I don't know, understand sometimes too, like in the color community, they just worry about, well, what if someone's looking at me? What if someone's watching me? I don't feel ready. That's what I get a lot. Oh, I'm not ready for the group classes. I got to get to look like this before I come to your classes.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And I was like, you know what's funny? I started my journey in group classes. I didn't care. I just showed up. I was ready. I said, today is day one. I keep talking about when I'm going to start. Oh, Monday. No, next Monday. November 1st. Nope, January 1st.
You know what
I think that was supposed to start January 1st for years.
You know what that sound like? You remember that commercial? The Everest commercial? You was talking about when are you going to go to college? Maybe I'll do it in July. Maybe I'll do it. No, do it right now.
Right now. So I think that's sometimes what happens too, because a lot of color women and men too, like, because it's, you know, not pretty much having in their lifestyle. They don't even know where to start.
They don't know where to start.
They don't even know where to start.
And we are the resource. So I feel like that's what our purpose is. We have to be the resource to get the people there. Even if you see them once, you're gonna see them again, because now I know who you are. So now I'm clocking you. Where you been? Hey, what's up? It's a class today. You coming to class? Hey, what you doing? What you know? So that's how I am. I'd be like, oh yeah, I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing? What you been doing? Oh, you coming back to class? Oh, we got a class on Monday. Like, you know, that type of thing. So, but that's our responsibility as trainers and coaches. It's our responsibility, especially if we have a mission and a goal. And I know that's what I do. I'm very intentional about that type of stuff. So I'm very much looking forward to sharing our experiences with y'all. But so let's just talk about real quick before we close out, accountability. Every podcast, every episode, we're gonna have an accountability portion of our conversation, and being real, raw, and honest. So
I'm gonna be honest.
Real, raw, and honest. So
honest.
I think we could both relate to this. You and I both just came off of a little mini vacation. Even though it was for fitness, we was outside. As fitness women, we are outside. Just a little bit. You know, we go out and have a good time. So that being said, I will definitely say that this week, what's today? Well, it's Wednesday. We in the middle of the week. It's been a rough. It's
not
been
Monday though.
We did say not Monday.
Not Monday. Tomorrow. What are we gonna start doing tomorrow?
Yeah,
we're not gonna do Monday.
Let's not do Monday. Let's do tomorrow. For me, and today was a struggle because I think I'm catching up on sleep. That's another thing. Get your sleep, guys. I think for me, okay, so what I definitely need to be held accountable for, or hold myself accountable for, is making sure that I meal prep and making sure that I get back into my routine. I did get home and go to the gym on Monday.
I went for a 2-mile walk.
Now, look, come on, love that for you. Because coming off a weekend of activity, it could have been different.
I'm proud of you for going to the gym, because I know it's going to die in the gym. I said, but I'm going to move.
I was lifting weights and everything. I said, go me.
Ooh,
go
baby.
Me. So, yes. Meal prepping and just making sure that I hit the gym at least 3 more times this week. That's what I'm holding myself accountable. What about you?
It's really similar. So I was actually lucky. A friend of mine got me. Well, I had to leave, and I left my meal prep. I wasn't going to meal prep. I wasn't going to be able to meal prep when I got back. So I did get 95 nutrition.
Oh.
So I was like, you know what? can you help me and go pick it up for me? I love my friends. So they picked it up for me. Because I was like, when I come back, like, I have to at least do something. And I knew my schedule's going to be crazy. So I'm only technically one workout in, and it's Wednesday. Usually I'm already at least at 2 or maybe 3. So no, I had to get snacks, though. I have no snacks. I have no yogurt, no fruit. So I did good the last 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had my good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. However, no snacking. So I got to get my snacks so I can snack in between, because I know I didn't hit none of my calories. I know I didn't, because just with the food, it wasn't enough. But, and I need 3 days. I need 3 days.
Of working out.
Yep.
Okay. So same.
Yeah, so we got 3 days of snacks.
3 more.
And you got to go cook.
And then meal prep. Ooh, girl.
Did you grocery shop? Ooh. Wegmans around the corner.
We going to Wegmans
kind of sort of, right?
this.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorta.
I don't know where I'm at right now.
Yeah. No, we're going to figure it out. I'm off work tomorrow. I'll be okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
We did say we'll start tomorrow, so
you know,
that's
we're going to start tomorrow. I can get up early. You know, I got clients in the morning, so I'm going to go train them straight to the store.
Oh, Wegmans really close right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
See?
I'm going to text you and make sure you went in and grocery shop.
Got to hold each other accountable. So, okay. So, that's going to wrap up our very first intro episode of Beyond the Reps. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, just when we come back, check on us and see if we did.
Well, we're gonna check in. We're gonna check in, and I want y'all to make some accountability things too. Hold yourself accountable too, because it ain't just us. Nope. We all gotta hold ourselves accountable. We hold ourselves accountable here as a group. But yeah, so in the future we're gonna have a lot of great things that we have. So many things that we wrote down, and we're excited to talk about. I'm really excited to get into these topics, girl.
I can't wait.
We're going to have some guests with us.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. I'm excited. I love talking about fitness. So I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm afraid my cheeks are probably looking crazy because they're so high up, smiling, showing off all my teeth. But it's really what I love to do. So I think that's going to wrap it up. So thank you for listening, and we hope to see y'all soon.